Hello, good morning and welcome. My name is Gail and I'm the host of Random Life Productions. Today I'm going to be doing a synopsis of Schindler's List. The film is over 3 hours long and this short 15-minute presentation perhaps will not give a full representation of the movie. I've picked out parts which I thought would be relevant to me and relevant to the watcher, but there are many parts that I've missed, and for that I apologise. But I've tried to give this film a fair representation as I can. This film is about salvation, redemption, brutality and survival. And it's a concoction of all three. I'd like to thank Little Poet for giving me the idea to put this video together. I watched her video, so I thought, I'll do this. And this is how this video came along. Today, I've slightly changed the light settings in this room. I'm using my camera and I've set it at the same lamp settings as my light, which is a vulcanized light. What I've done is I've set the Kelvin at 3600 in each, in my backlight and in my camera. My side light here is just a normal LED, so I'm hoping that the image that's coming out of it is really good. Anyway, let's get back to the synopsis of Schindler's List, and thank you for watching. Hello, good morning and welcome to my vlog. My name is Gail and I'm the host of Random Life Productions. Today I am in central London. I'm at the back end of Westminster, near to the Houses of Parliament. I found a really awesome spot to vlog, so I decided, why don't I start the film here. I went to watch Schindler's List in the West End 26 years ago when it came out in 1993. The theatre was massive. I went in and I watched the film for the first time, and I looked at it as Jewish people being oppressed, and there were some disturbing images. 26 years later, I see the film in a different perspective. The film begins with a candle burning. It burns brightly. It's a scene of a Jewish Sabbath. The candle is then extinguished, and we are taken into a world of black and white. And then the reality of life for us begins. Observe the suffering through the eyes of Schindler, and we watch as Schindler grows as a person. The story of Schindler is true. He saved the lives of 1,200 Jewish people. And basically he started as a wealthy businessman who lived off the suffering of others. He was a flirt and he bribed Nazis to make himself look better. So he was kind of like a social media star. Steven Spielberg's very clever, where he uses himself to photograph and film Schindler, placing himself in positions where it will give him the most exposure to people who've got influence and power. Very interesting. His accountant is based on several Jewish characters, but those several Jewish characters are put into one and represented in the Ben Kingsley character. It's about contrasts. The contrast between Schindler bribing the Germans with luxury items, the Jews living in abject poverty. There's a scene where a wealthy Jewish family is thrown out of their address and the lady in her fur walks out into the street. After she has walked out in the street, there's another scene where you see people jumping onto a train and their suitcases are left behind. And when the people go off on the train, the suitcases are all emptied out. It's like their life is being slowly taken away from them. All of the treasures are melted down and sold. So we continue the journey and we are taken to the scene of the Jewish ghettos. The film is completely in black and white, like I said, apart from certain parts of the film. We are introduced to the Jewish ghetto with a line of desks, people asking for their identification and looking at people and assessing them if they're healthy or not. They're then moved into the ghettos. They make the most of their life in the ghettos, in things for Schindler are looking up, and the film progresses and the things for the Jewish population are looking down. From the ghetto we are taken to Schindler's factory. This is now the sanctuary for the Jewish people who work there. The film is based in Krakow, and basically Jews are hired to work in the factory, and Schindler is a manufacturer of pots and pans, and during this time he's establishing a relationship with his accountant and the Jews who work with him in the factory. And there's a scene where the ghettos where the Jewish people live are facing closure, and this is probably one of the most powerful scenes in the film, and us as the observer of Schindler watch a sea change in his behaviour.
Think about that. By this evening, those 6 centuries are a rumor. They never happened. Today is history.
He arrives at the scene of the ghetto several yards away, 100 yards away, on a horse. He was a womanizer, so he had a woman with him. And basically he witnesses the scene of destruction. And in the distance, in all the black and white, there's a slight speck of red. I've had to slow the footage down. You just see it, this little girl dressed in red, and the red signifies the death and destruction that is taking place at this ghetto. Takes us to the exhumation of 10,000 bodies, and the German captain leader, played by Ray Fiennes. 10,000 bodies are dug up by the Jews. The smell must have been horrendous. They're forced to burn the bodies, and there's a Nazi who laughs. It's almost like a mad laugh about the absolute carnage that is going on. And in that black and white scene is a little glint of colour, and our eyes are fixed on this little girl again, who's dead in a wheelbarrow, being driven along like rubbish, and Schindler's reaction to the death and destruction. And he is moved to act, and that is what he does. He acts and he bribes the Germans with more and more money, and he becomes somebody who saves lives by using his fortune, and he begins to appreciate the value of human life. And of course, during this film he has developed a bond and a relationship with the Jewish workers. At some point the war must end. It's 1945, and we are taken to a scene where Schindler is standing in front of his factory, and they're listening to a speech from Winston Churchill to say that the war is over. It's a fantastic part of the film. I love the fact that they put that speech in, because Winston Churchill was such a very good orator, I would suggest. And what happens then is he says, I was a member of the Nazi Party, I am now likely to be arrested. What happens next is the Jewish people extract their teeth and make him a gold ring. And at the end of the film, when they say their goodbyes, he takes the ring, he's so humbled by it, and he cries. And he contemplates how many lives he could have saved if he hadn't lived in the way he lived.
I threw away so much money. You have no idea. If I just...
There will be generations because of what you did.
I didn't do enough.
You did so much.
This car. Kurt would have bought this car. Why did I keep the car? 10 people right there. 10 people. 10 more people. This pin. 2 people. This is gold. 2 more people. He would have given me 2 for it. At least 1. He would have given me 1. 1 more. 1 more person. Person stand for this. I could have got 1 more person.
We're taken to the end of the film where it's back to colour again, and the Schindler survivors walk towards the camera. What have I learnt from this film? Let me tell you. You learn about life and experiences, and you learn about you need to appreciate your life and just how lucky we are to live in a country that is free and that we are able to do what we like. We're not oppressed. We're so lucky, and sometimes we don't think about the people who are not free, the children who are born in shame and dumped on the streets, the girls who are exploited, the women who are assaulted, young boys who are being murdered on the street. And I think from this film I've learnt to appreciate things, and also that in life a little kindness goes a long, long way. And I think that's what I've really learnt from this film. Susan, thank you so much for doing your film reviews. Kind of encouraged me to do this one. I hope you enjoyed it, even though the subject matter that I was covering today is quite disturbing. I feel that Steven Spielberg told this story in a wonderful way.